Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Canal Algérie's Midnight 30 Bulletin. To the headlines. A spotlight on the wonderful Ramadan atmosphere at the Grand Mosque of Paris, with our national community there gathered around the group iftar organized by the mosque. Local markets, the favorite destination of Algerians to buy largely consumed products with affordable prices during the month of Ramadan. Case in point is Tizi and Iran provinces. Former BFM TV journalist accused of serving in Makhzen propaganda exposed before the Parliamentary Commission of Inquiry by testimonies contradicting his version of events. Lastly, we visit Janet, precisely Tassili Nadia, that keeps attracting national and foreign tourists fascinated by the beauty of the region. Welcome again. First in our news, and following the death of the war veteran and former Minister Sassi Al-Amouri, the President of the Republic extended his sincere condolences and profound sympathy to the family of the late, praying Allah Almighty to have mercy on him. Indeed, to Allah we belong and to him we shall return. To France now, precisely the Grand Mosque of Paris and the annual traditional Ramadan group iftar, an initiative organized by the mosque every Friday throughout the entire holy month. Let's discover the atmosphere of these iftars with our correspondent to France, Afaf Bilhouchad, in this report taken up by Rania Al-Bahri.
They are students of different specialties coming from Algeria. Most of them do not know each other, but for many of them is the first Ramadan away from their homes. Yesterday it was very weird. Al-Adhan started, I was still outside, I was running to come home, I hadn't prepared anything for iftar. This lofty move is meant to lighten the feeling of loneliness accentuated in this holy month. That's why the Great Mosque of Paris brings them together for a meal every Friday during this holy month. I read the post by coincidence on Facebook. I said to myself, why not to go there? It will be an experience. This operation is budgetary in a context marked by inflation in France. I spend €200 a month on groceries. An iftar like this costs €30. The most important thing is the friendly moment that we share here. There is family warmth, and you can't find it elsewhere. As you can see, we are all Algerians from different provinces. Our iftar meal was typically Algerian. Here, everything has been set up to make them feel like they are spending Ramadan in their homeland. Adel, the culinary chef in charge of preparing the food. An operation launched by the Great Mosque of Paris during the COVID period, but the President of the Republic insisted to do it for the second consecutive year. When the President of the Republic learned that we have dedicated each Friday to Algerian students, he offered the iftar to our community in France and especially to young people, as he did last year with great generosity. There is family-friendly atmosphere. I would say to them, if you are far from your family, you are welcome to have iftar here. I'm very proud and very happy that this iftar is offered by the President of the Republic. I thank the rector of the Mosque of Paris for having invited us too, and all the people who participated in the event. It was something great, but also representative of our culture. Algeria will remain the first country in my heart. Thank you so much for the meal, it's really good. And it's an honor that it's offered by the President of the Republic. With great happiness and joy that everyone goes home to better meet again next week.
Local markets, the favorite destination for Algerians to buy largely consumed products during the holy month, thanks to the availability of these products and the reasonable prices these markets offer. Case in point, Tizi and Iran provinces in this story by Manal Ammari.
Necessary foodstuffs, namely fruit, vegetables, red and white meats, are available and sold at reasonable prices at this local market, located in Tizi Ouzou province. We can find everything here, and the prices are very reasonable. Various public and private enterprises are selling their products directly to clients to ensure a steady supply of foodstuffs. For its part, the Directorate of Trade and Agricultural Services is ensuring a permanent follow-up. Every day we bring between 2,600 and 3,000 liters of vegetable oil that we sell at reasonable prices. Largely consumed products such as semolina and oil are available and are very affordable. A similar atmosphere prevails at this market in Oran province, where consumers can find fresh seafood and vegetables. I enjoy buying my groceries from this market. All the vegetables here are fresh and watered by spring water. These markets ensure the availability of seafood, fruit and vegetables throughout the holy month of Ramadan.
And in international developments, many countries called on the international community to take immediate action to protect human rights in the occupied territories of Western Sahara and to work to stop Moroccan violations against defenseless Sahrawi civilians. During his intervention before the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva on the sidelines of its 52nd ordinary session, the representative of Venezuela expressed his country's concerns about the restrictions on freedom of expression and assembly in Western Sahara and the inappropriate use of force by the Moroccan occupation forces in peaceful protests. As for South Africa, it stressed the obligation to enable the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights to resume its program of visits to the occupied part of Western Sahara and to determine the real situation of the Sahrawi detainees inside the prisons of the Moroccan occupation. In France, the former journalist of BFM TV, Rachid Mbarki, appeared before the Parliamentary Commission of Inquiry investigating the scandal in a hearing during which he denied the accusations against him before the contradictions in his version were exposed following the testimony of his former general director, who demonstrated to the Commission the direct involvement of Rachid Mbarki in this misinformation campaign. Manal Ammari with the details.
Interrogated for more than 2 hours by a parliamentary commission of inquiry, the French-Moroccan anchor, suspended and accused of serving the Makhzen's propaganda by broadcasting biased, oriented and unvalidated information, attempted to defend himself and denied his involvement. His former general director, Marc-Olivier Fougiel's hearing did not help his case. According to him, the former anchor requested images and footage at the last minute to illustrate news stories once the editor-in-chief was busy on another slot and validated the rest of the news. He broadcasted these videos as evidence that he can broadcast information on the first 24-hour news channel in France. I was sent these 3 videos, and after watching them it was clear that they should not have been broadcasted on air. Some were even incomprehensible to the average person, myself included. It had nothing to do with our editorial policy. As evidence, out of 20 hours and a half of non-stop news on the channel, the information would only appear on the nightly news bulletin. No other editor-in-chief, journalist or news anchor considered it useful to report such information, only for the news anchor of the nightly news bulletin, Rachid Mbarki.
Il redoute notamment les conséquences de la guerre en Ukraine sur le long terme.
The commission was able to review controversial clips which pressured the former journalist to admit that the footage in question was provided by the lobbyist Jean-Pierre Duton, mentioned in the Forbidden Stories investigation. According to the general director of BFM TV, Rachid Mbarki had enough experience to know that all the information broadcasted must be approved by an editor-in-chief, which he disregarded. Rachid Mbarki came to see me on January 11th, and 4 days later I showed him the videos and I questioned him about how this information was on air. He first told me that it was suggested to him by an informant. Then he gave me the name of Jean-Pierre Duton. He was more than evasive, since he told me that the editor-in-chief was unaware. Even though the editor-in-chief is supposed to approve all the broadcasted information, what's more problematic, as you've seen yourselves, the footage used to illustrate what he was saying is footage that was not filmed nor bought by BFM TV. It should be noted that this case was brought to light following an alert made by a Radio France journalist who was working on the Story Killer's extensive investigation, coordinated by the Forbidden Stories Consortium. The investigation revealed that BFM TV broadcasted information supplied by disinformation agency led by a Zionist office that sells its services in the whole world.
Janet, one of the most visited provinces that keeps attracting national and foreign tourists who fell in love with Algeria's breathtaking desert, and thanks to the visa facilitations procedures, Tassili Najer is receiving an unprecedented tourism flow. Walid Yousfi, Sabrin Tefrginit.
Classified within the 52 must-visit touristic sites in the world, the Tassili Najer attracts all types of tourists. Once in Janet, the only transport means to access this splendid national park is an ATV. And for a breath of fresh air, these foreign hikers chose to rumble through Gujarat.
Et alors, traverser les déserts, on a traversé 3 déserts cette fois.
We came across 3 deserts, including Tifernin and Essaouin. It was amazing.
Et ça a été vraiment super.
Et là, on va faire une semaine à pied avec les amis de l'Italie.
It's been 1 week now since we've been hiking with our Italian friends. They love the desert, cave paintings and rock carvings.
Les gravures.
Passing through 30 kilometers of Gujarat means to come across 80,000 of unique rock carvings and, of course, the beautiful landscapes. The visa facilitations, on the other hand, surely helped promoting the desert and, by that, upgrade the tourism sector.
And with that, tonight's bulletin comes to a close. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.